Hello guys, welcome back to Tech Projects. I am back with another video, and this is the first part of our COVID-19 tracker app using REST API or Retrofit. So in this part we will going to design the complete UI designing, and in the next part we will write the complete Java code. So I will try to complete this series in just 2 videos. So this video may be a little bit long, but I will try to complete the UI in this video. So if you don't check the demo video what we are going to create, then I want to just give a quick intro of the application. So you can see I open the application. So this is the COVID-19 tracker using REST API and Retrofit, and from here you can see the data is displayed on the graph. From here you can pick any country, and below there is a Recyclerview to show all countries with their data, and this is a spinner to filter the data according to different condition. So if you want to see the detailed demo video, and if you want to see what you will learn after creating this application, then you can check the demo video in my playlist. So in this video we will going to write the UI code of this application. So don't further delay, now let's start the video and see how to do this. One more thing, if you don't subscribe our channel, then please subscribe the channel and hit the bell notification, and if you have any query after watching this video you can comment down below. So now let's start the video. So for this, first of all, simply open your Endo Studio. So I open my Endo Studio. Now from here you have to click on File, then you have to click on New, then you have to click on New Project. Then click on Empty Activity, click on Next. Now give any name to your application. So I simply give COVID tutorial. Then you can select, you have to select Java, and you can select any Android version, then click on Finish. So it will create this project. So the now project built successful, and we are ready to write the code. So first of all, for using Retrofit, or we can say REST API inside our application, we have to give a permission of internet inside this. So I simply type here uses permission, and I give the permission internet. Then simply close this. Now come inside your Gradle scripts build.gradle module app, and inside this we have to add some dependencies, because we want to use Java graph, we want to use country picker library, and we want to use Retrofit. So for this we have to add some dependencies here. So I will provide the drive link of the dependency. You can simply copy paste the drive link, dependencies from drive link. So I open this folder, and you can see in this text document these are the dependency. So we need 5 dependencies. So I simply copy these 5 dependency, open my Endo Studio COVID tutorial, and simply paste the dependencies here, and then click on sync now. So it will add these dependencies. Now dependency set up correctly, and minimize it. So I close this build.gradle module app, close this, and also I close this file explorer, and also close this previous project. I don't need this. So now inside this, first of all, we are going to use some things again and again, like colors and some text. So it is better to copy paste the resources inside our strings.xml and colors.xml to avoid the writing more code. So I simply open your colors.xml, and you have to simply add any color whichever you want. So for this I open this text file again, and I will also provide the color codes in description if you want my color code. So I simply copy this color file, or we can say color codes. So I simply copy this and simply paste the color codes here. So that's it. Now if I want to use these color, then I have to simply type the name, and type name is better than the typing color code. So hope you understand. Now simply open your string.xml, and inside this we can add any word which we are going to use inside our project. So for this I again open this file, and I will also provide the drive link of all files, so don't worry. So I simply copy these strings and then minimize it, and then paste the here. So you can see it contain active, so I can simply type these. So it is very better. Now close this strings, and now close this colors.xml. Simply open your activity main XML file, click on split, delete this text view, and simply change the constraint layout to relative layout. So I simply type here relative layout. Then we are ready to write the code. So I minimize this from here, so it's showing error. So also delete this. So this is done. Now we can start writing the code from here. So one thing I want to say before writing the UI designing code, this UI designing is little bit complex. I don't say this is very difficult, but a little bit complex, because I am going to use multiple layouts again inside a multiple layout. So it will create little bit confusion, but try to understand everything, and I will try to explain everything. So listen carefully. So now let's start writing the code. So first of all, before writing any code, it is better to create some drawables, because we are going to use lots of drawable inside our application. So right click on drawable folder, then first cancel it, right click on drawable, then new, then you have to click on drawable resource file. So first drawable which we are going to use inside our project is card drawable. So I simply type here card, and you can give any name, it is your choice, it is completely depend on you. I simply give this name, and from here you have to click on instead of selector you need shape and click on OK. So it will create this drawable. Now you have to set the Android shape rectangle. So Android shape rectangle. So this is done. Now inside this what we have to do, we have to give simply a background color. So I simply take an open bracket, type here, when you type solid then you have to type color, and from here you have to simply give the color name cardbg. So I already add this color inside our colors.xml, so that's, you can see this is very easy. I simply type the name and it will automatically get that color code. So now I need 4 more drawables. So I simply click on this. Now simply Control C, copy this drawable, then click on drawable, Control V, paste. Now the second drawable which we need inside our project is our country code drawable. So I simply type here country code drawable, then click on OK. Now inside this what we need a radius and also different color. So I simply remove this color. So I simply type here country code bg. So I already add this color in colors.xml, so you can see it is fine. Now I add a corner radius, so corners radius, and I give the corner radius 50 dp to make it perfectly round, then close this. So this is added successfully. Now simply copy this drawable, Control C, copy, and simply paste the drawable again. Now the third drawable which we need inside our project, view drawable. So I simply type here view bg and then click on OK, and inside this we don't need any color, we just need a radius, and the radius size is only 50 dp. So this is done. Now we need one more drawable, so click on drawable, then Control V, paste, and now we have to use 2 drawables for our relative background. So I simply type here relative bg and then click on OK, and inside this drawable first of all I have to change the color. So here I need a relative bg color, so this is fine. Now I delete this corner radius from here and simply take an open bracket, type here corners and top right radius, and give the top right radius 20 dp. Then close this. Now also we need inside this top left radius, and I'll give this 20 dp. So this is done. Now simply copy this drawable, Control C, copy, simply click on drawable, then paste it. Then I need one more drawable but I simply have to change the name. So I simply type here relative bg and I add extra g here, then click on OK. And inside this I have to need here top, instead of top left I need here bottom left, and instead of top right I need here bottom right. So this is done. Now the drawable work is complete. Maybe one drawable is left, so I will add later. Now close this, and also close this. Now come inside activity main XML file, and from here we are ready to write the code. So first of all what we need a relative layout here. So simply take an open bracket, type here a relative layout, then give the layout with match parent height wrap content, and now give any id. So this is the top background, so I simply type here top bg id. Then here we have to add a background, and simply type here background and add this background relative bg, which is drawable file. Now close this. Now inside this relative layout what we need a linear layout. So I simply take an open bracket, type here linear layout, set the layout with match parent height wrap content, and inside this what I have to type, I have to give the orientation vertical. So because I want to place item vertically, then press enter. Now inside this linear layout again I need a linear layout, and simply set the layout with match parent height wrap content. Now we have to give here margin top 10 dp, it is fine, and then we have to set the orientation. So I simply set the orientation horizontal because this time I need items horizontally inside this linear layout. Now close this. Now after writing the code, little bit code, I will explain this how it is working, so don't worry. Now what we need inside this linear layout, we need a text view. So simply take an open bracket, type here text view, set the layout with wrap content height wrap content, give the margin left 20 dp, it is fine. Now give the layout weight. So simply give the layout weight 1, and then you have to give the text size. So I simply give the text size 25 sp, it is fine. Now you have to give the text style bold and give the text color white. Then you have to type any text whatever you want. So I simply type here COVID-19. So I already add this string, so that's why it automatically fetch this, then close this. So this text is created successfully. Now below this text view, but inside this linear layout of horizontal, we need one more thing, which is country picker. So I already added dependency, so we don't need to worry. Simply take an open bracket, type here com.hbb. So you can see it is showing this. Now we have to set the layout with 100 dp, it is fine, and the layout height is 40 dp is fine. Now we have to give the auto detect country, so it will automatically detect in which country you are present. So I simply type here true. Then after this you have to give the margin left, and after this you have to simply type here margin left 20 dp, it is fine. Now you have to type here show country code, because I don't need country code, phone code inside our country picker library, so that's why I simply type there false. So it will not show any country code, I need only country names. Now simply type here show full name, and we don't need full name, that's why I simply pass here false. Then you have to simply type here background, and I give the background country code drawable. So this is done. Now we have to give the padding, so you can give any padding. I simply give the padding 5 dp, it is fine. Now you have to give the any id, so I simply type here id, and I give the id name ccp. It is your choice, whatever you want to give. Now give the margin right, so margin right is 20 dp is also fine. This is done. Now we have to add the text size, so I simply type here text size 12 sp. So this is done. Now close this. Now try to understand this hierarchy. So first I collapse this empty tag. Now you can see this is the linear layout which is horizontally placed. So every item which I am going to add this inside this linear layout, it automatically get placed in horizontally. The work of this linear layout is finished. Now this linear layout is contained vertically. So let us suppose if I add one more item, it will automatically add that item vertically. So in vertically I need one linear layout again, which contain horizontally. So for this simply press enter, and simply press enter first here, take an open bracket, type here linear layout. Now set the layout with match parent height wrap content, and here what we have to do, we have to add margin top. So you can give any margin top, I simply give the 20 dp, and then you have to simply type here orientation horizontal. So this is done. Now close this. Now inside this what we need a graph, and we need some views. So simply take an open bracket, type here org. So if you add dependency of pie chart, you can see it is done. Now click on this. Now set the layout with 220 dp, it is fine, and layout height 180 dp. Then after this you have to give any id, so I simply give the id name here pie chart. You can see the graph is implemented successfully. Give the padding, so I simply give the padding 8 dp, it is fine. Now we have to simply type here pie rotation, so we can rotate this, so I simply type here true. So this is done. Now we have to set the value text size, so you can set any text size. I simply type here 15 sp to display the any text size, and simply type here legend text size. So this is the text size which appear on the right side on the bar chart, or we can say pie chart. So I simply set this 8 sp. So this is done. Now close this. Now this graph is implemented successfully. Now what we need below this, we need on the right side views. So views are placed horizontal to this, but there are 4 views which we have to place vertical. So I have to again take a linear layout again. So simply take an open bracket, type here linear layout, set the layout with wrap content, height wrap content, give the margin top 5 dp, it is fine. Now give the margin left, and you can give any margin left. I simply give the margin left 10 dp. Then you have to simply type here orientation, and I give the orientation vertical because I want to place this vertically. Now inside this linear layout what I need, so try to understand one thing. This is the main linear layout, and inside this I want to place item horizontally, graph here and views here. But now I simply add a graph. Now I want to add 4 views here, 1 2 3 4. So that's why I simply take a linear layout again vertically. Now on the view I have a box here to show the color code, and we can say to show it is active or deaths or recovered. And after this I have a text, so death place horizontally. So for this I have to take again a linear layout inside this. So simply take an open bracket, type here linear layout. Now after this what we have to type here, wrap content, give the margin left 20 dp, and give the orientation vertical. So this is done. Now close this. Instead of vertical you have to type here horizontal. So this is done. Now press enter. Now we have to simply take an open bracket, type here view, set the layout with 15 dp is fine for the view, and layout height is also 15 dp, it is fine. Now we have to give the background and view BG. So I already add this background. Now we have to set the layout gravity center, and then you have to type here background tint to set color. So first is green, so that's why I simply type here green. Now close this. Now what I need below this view, I need a text view. So simply take an open bracket, type here text view, set the layout with wrap content, height wrap content. Now simply set any text, so I simply type here active. Then we have to set the text color, so I simply type here white color. Now we have to give the text size, so text style bold first, and then you have to give any text size. So I simply give the text size 15 sp, it is fine. Give the margin left 10 dp, it is fine. And now we have to set the layout gravity center, then close this. So you can see, if I click on here, you can see it is implemented successfully. So you can see it is placed horizontally, and this is horizontally, but it is placed horizontally. Now I need one more view vertically, so that's why I take here vertical and then I take here horizontal. So this linear layout contains these both two things. So I can simply collapse this, and then I can simply copy this, Control C copy, and then paste it, and again paste it. So you can see it pasted here successfully. Now we have to simply make some changes inside this. So first of all, the change which we have to make is we have to also add a margin top here. So margin top 20 dp, it is fine. Then instead of this color green, what I need here, yellow, or you can add whatever you want. So first I can add simply blue here, and I need a text view here, recovered. So recovered. So this is done. Now below this, now expand this one. So simply add a margin top, simply give the margin top 20 dp, and now we have to, I simply type here yellow color, and then I have to change the text. So instead of active text, I need here total. So this is done. Now below this linear layout, you can see, again expand it, give the margin top 20 dp. Then instead of green color, what I need here, red color. So this is done, and also simply change the text. So instead of active, I need here that's. So now close this. So this linear layout 1, 2, 3, these 4 linear layouts contain these 4 things, items, and this linear layout contain these items. And now if I collapse this, you can see this linear layout contain these all items. And if I collapse this, you can see this linear layout contain this graph and these items, and this linear layout contain all this, and this is the relative layout, which is our main layout. So the work of this relative layout is finished. Now we have to write code here below this to add card views, or we can say grid view here. Now inside this relative layout, I need to take one more relative layout here. So simply take an open bracket, type here relative layout. Now we have to set the layout with match parent, height wrap content. Now give any ID. First of all, give the gravity center, and then you have to give any ID. So I simply give the ID name here middle BG, because this is middle relative layout. And then you have to type here layout below, and I simply type here top BG. So it will place below this. And then after this, what we have to do, we have to simply give margin top. So give the margin top 5 dp, it is fine. Now close this. It's showing error, so close this perfectly. Now inside this relative layout, what we need a grid view to show items, card items. So what we have to type here, we have to simply take an open bracket, type here grid layout. We have to set the layout with wrap content, height wrap content. Now we have to simply give the column count and give the column count 2. Then you have to give any padding. So I simply give any padding 5 dp, you can use any padding, and simply type here use default margins and simply pass through. So it will automatically add the margins. Then close this. Now inside this grid layout, what we need some items. So I have to take a card view here. So when you type here open bracket, simply type here com.material. So you can see on the top, you can see com.google.android.material card view. So use this. Now we have to set the layout width and give the layout width. You can give any layout width according to your own choice. I simply type here 160 dp. And now we have to give the layout height. So you can give any layout height, it is again your choice. So I simply type here 60 dp. Then after this, we have to simply type here stroke width 2 dp to add some elevation. And then you have to simply type here background tint, and and I simply type here card view dark background. Maybe this is not card background, so this is the color. So this is done. Now we have to type here stroke color and simply give the color. I forget to use this, so I simply type here 0 C0 F45. so this is the color code of that. Now close this. Now inside this what we need a linear layout, because on my card view what I have to show. So try to understand one thing. I have to show a view here, then I have to show active, then I have to show the number of cases here, and then I have to show plus cases here, today plus cases. So that's why we need 4 items. So we need 2 items horizontally, 2 items horizontally, but these are 4 items vertically. So first of all I have to take a linear layout here. So simply take a linear layout here, set the layout with match parent, height, wrap content, orientation, vertical. Then inside this what we need, hope you understand, we have to simply take a linear layout again, simply take a bracket, type here linear layout. Now set the layout width, and layout width is wrap content, height is also wrap content. Give the margin top 10 dp, it is fine. Then you have to give the gravity and simply type here gravity center. Then you have to give the orientation horizontal. Though this is done. Now inside this what we need a view and also a text. So I can simply type here view, set the layout with 15 dp, it is fine. Height is also 15 dp, it is fine. Then you have to give the layout gravity center. Then you have to give any background. So I have to use here view bg to make it round, and then you have to give any background tint, or we can say color. So I simply type here yellow, then close this. Now after this view what we need, a text view to show it is total cases or active cases, wrap content, text. So I simply give the text total, and then I have to simply type here text size 15 sp. Then you have to give any text style, so text style is bold. And then after this what you have to do, give the margin left and give the margin left 10 dp, and simply set the layout gravity center. So then close this. So you can see this is created successfully. Now below this what we need, remove extra space from here, and simply collapse empty tag to remove the warnings. Click here, collapse empty tag to remove the warning. So this is the linear layout is created successfully. So I can minimize this. So inside this you can see this is vertically linear layout, and below this what I need one more linear layout to show items, or we can say number of cases. So simply take an open bracket, type here linear layout, simply set the layout with match parent, height, wrap content. Then after this you have to set the gravity center. Then below this what you have to margin left 5 dp. Then we have to give the padding is also 5 dp. Then you have to type here orientation horizontal, then close this. Now inside this what we need 2 text views. So simply take an open bracket, type here text view, set the layout with match parent, height, wrap content, and simply type the text color. So you can first of all simply set the text style bold, text size 12 sp. Then you have to type here text. So I simply type here number because I already add this string. Then we have to simply give any id. So I simply type here total case. Then what we have to do, we have to give a text color. So simply type a text color black. Instead of yellow I type here black. Then after this we have to type here layout weight 1, then close this. So you can see it is added successfully. Now below this text view what we need, again a text view. So simply copy this, Ctrl C copy, simply paste here. Now below this what we need, we have to make some changes. So first of all, instead of total case I have to give the id name here today total. You can give any id name, so today total. So this is done. Now instead of the 12 sp of text size I simply type here 10 sp, it is fine. Now after this we have to use here increment number instead of this, or you can use whatever number you want. So I simply type here, this is the string of increment number. So this is done. Now one more thing, you have to add an here margin left and give the margin left 5 dp. It is fine. So you can see this is added successfully, and instead of text color black, I need here text color yellow. So this card view is created successfully with the grid layout, and you can see it looks amazing. So you can see it is perfect. Now what we need, we have to take a linear layout again, but we are not going to do this because we can copy paste the code. So minimize this linear layout, and this linear layout contained inside this material card view. So I can simply copy this code of material card view, Control C, copy, paste, and again paste. So our card view color is not looking amazing, so I have to check what is the actual card view color. So for this I simply come inside our strings. So come inside activity main XML file. So first of all, simply Control Z because I figure out some mistake. So click on this, and instead of this card VG, I need some different color here. That card VG is for our drawable file, so it will be a little bit confusing, so that's why. So this is the color code of our card view. So now it is fine. Now we can simply copy paste this. So Control C, copy, simply paste it 4 times. And as we use grid view, so you can see it automatically pastes the icons here. Now plus, and the error is due to the similar ID names, so that's why it's showing error. So expand this. Now instead of this total cases here, you can type here active cases, give any ID name, active case. So this is done. Now we have to also change this ID. So instead of total, today total, I have to type here today active, and I have to use some different color here, green. This is fine. Then also I have to make change inside here on view. So click, I have to use here green, and then below this we have a string of total. So instead of string of total, I need here string of active. So this is, you can see now it is very fast and it is created successfully. Now here we have a recovered. So click on this. Now instead of total, I have to type here recovered. Then instead of yellow, I have to type here blue color. Now click on this, and instead of today total, I have to type here ID name today recover, and give the different ID name, otherwise it will not work. And click on this, and instead of total case, I have to type here recovered case. So this is done. Now click on this. Then after this you have to type here, first of all change the color. I have to type here red. Then we have to change the word total. I have to type here that string. So this is done. Now click on this. I have to make change of color, red. Then we have to give the different ID name. So today death, I give this, and click on this. Then you have to type here total. Instead of total cases, you have to type here total death. So this is also created successfully. So you can see now it looks amazing. Now below this, what we need a spinner and Recyclerview here. So for this, first of all, remove the extra space from here, and I want to show hierarchy. So this grid layout contain all 4 items, and this present inside this relative layout. So below this linear relative layout, what we need, we can simply take a linear layout again, because we have 3 items to show spinner and some country cases, and then we have a Recyclerview. So that's why. So I simply type a layout with match parent, hide match parent. Now we have to simply type a layout below and give the layout below middle VG, and then after this you have to give the background. Instead of background tint, you have to type here background and give the background tint of relative BG extra G, this one. So it is not showing any, it is not working properly, so maybe I done some mistake. First of all, what we have to type here, simply give the margin top 5 dp and give the margin orientation vertical, then close this linear layout. So the problem is that, like you can see, come inside this relative BG. So here I give the top left radius and top right radius, and inside this relative BG I give the bottom right and bottom left. So due to confusion, I give the different radius on the different files. So click on this or come on to the top, and here I have to use this one, relative bg extra g. So delete this and this one, and here I have to use here relative bg instead of color. I have to type here relative bg extra g. So you can see now it is fine. And now click on this, and here I have to use drawable of relative bg. So this one. So this contain top left and top right radius, and this contain bottom left and bottom right. So this is done. Now inside this linear layout, what we need again a linear layout, because we have a two text to use. So that's why match parent wrap content, and then we have to give the margin top. So give the margin top 5 dp, it is fine. Then you have to simply set the orientation horizontal. Now close this. Now below this, what we need here two text views. So first text view to show country and second text view to show cases. So simply take an open bracket, type here text view, set the layout with match parent height wrap content. Now we have to give the margin start. Give the margin start 20 dp, it is fine. Now we have to give the layout weight, and layout weight 1. Now we have to give padding. So padding 5 dp, it is fine. Then below this we have a text. So text color white. We have a text. So text is string, or string is country. So it is showing error. So it says set margin left also. Set margin left, so it is done. Now we have to set the text style. Text size is 15 sp first, and then we have to set the text style. So text style bold. So you can see this implemented successfully. Now below this, what we need one more text view. So simply copy this and simply paste the text here. Then after this, what changes we have to make? First of all, we have to change the string. So instead of string of country, I need here cases. So this is done. Now also this we have to give any ID, because if I want to update spinner, then I have to update this text view. So I simply type here ID and then give the ID name here filter. You can give any name, it is your choice. Now we have to remove this margin left. I don't need this here. And also you have to give the margin start, remove this, and this is done. Now we have to simply give here padding start. So simply give the padding start 40 dp, it is fine. And then one thing we have to give text alignment center. So it's showing error. So it says set gravity center horizontal. So set this. Set padding left is 40 dp, so it is fine. So you can see the country and the cases is implemented successfully. Now below this, what we need a spinner. So for this we have to simply take an open bracket, type here spinner, set the layout with 30 dp, it is fine. Then after this we have to type here 30 dp height, it is also fine. Then you have to give the layout gravity. I give the gravity center. Then below this we have to give the margin right, and give the margin right 20 dp, it is fine. Then we have to give any ID. So I simply give the ID name here spinner, and then we have to give the background. So I simply type here background, and from here I have to use a vector asset. So right click on drawable, then you have to click on new, then you have to click on vector asset, click on this icon, then you have to search here arrow. So this one arrow, you can use any arrow, it is your choice. This one, okay, next, finish. So I simply type here Android background, and I simply use the CCP drop down arrow. So this arrow is implemented successfully. Now close this. Now you can see our layout is created successfully. Now below this linear layout, what we need a Recyclerview. That's it. And we don't need nothing. So simply type in open bracket, type here Recyclerview. Set the layout with match parent height match parent, and now we have to type here ID and give the ID name here Recyclerview. Then after this we have to give the margin top and give the margin top -5 dp to remove the extra space, and then give the padding. So you can give any padding. I simply give the padding 10 dp, it is fine. Now close this. You can see now the Recyclerview is implemented successfully, and the layout is also created successfully. So you can collapse the empty tag to remove the warning. So you can see our app contain very less number of warnings. So it is very clean code. So you can see now the finally UI work is complete. Now it's time to check our app whether the app is working, and it is your choice whether you want to check it or not, but I believe this is work fine. It will work fine because on the screen you can see it is, the UI looks amazing. So I have to connect my phone, then I will press on run button. So let's wait. So I press on run button. You can see phone is connected successfully. Now I press on run button and it will start building. So now the grid will build successful and it will install the application inside our phone. So you can see application installed successfully and it looks amazing. So this is the spinner, this is the Recyclerview, and this is the country pickle library. So everything is work fine. Now in the next part we will write the Java code, how to remove action bar, then after this how to change the title bar color, and then how to use REST API and Retrofit to fetch the data from an API directly inside our app, and how to use this graph. So I'm going to explain entire concept of REST API of get request, and then I will show you how to work with this. So the next part will be going to the final part of the series, and this is the end of our first part. So after watching this video, if you have any query, you can comment down below. I will try to give the answer of every comment. Please like the video because these tutorials take so much time, and on YouTube there are less number of good quality tutorials. So if you like this video, then please support me and please share the channel with your friends. So thank you. See you soon in next amazing video.